Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories. Of course, today the prime focus is of that Supreme Court verdict on VK Sasikala and two others as well in the disproportionate assets case. We'll get you details of all of that coming in from Tamil Nadu. First, the headlines. Supreme Court upholds the conviction of AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala in the disproportionate assets case, orders her to serve out her 4-year jail sentence and pay a fine of 10 crore rupees. E. Palaniswamy is elected the AIADMK Legislative Party leader, meets Tamil Nadu Governor C. Vidyasagar Rao to stake claim to form the next government in the state. Party expels O. Pannirselvam and 19 others. A militant and 3 security personnel are killed in an encounter in Kashmir's Bandipora district. 6 other security personnel and civilians suffer injuries. And the U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn quits over allegations of contacts with Russian officials. Resignation follows warnings by the U.S. Department of Justice to the Trump administration. Our top story, the Supreme Court today set aside AIADMK General Secretary VK Sasikala's acquittal by the Karnataka High Court in the Jayalalitha disproportionate assets case and restored her conviction by a trial court in the case. The trial court had sentenced Sasikala and 2 others to simple imprisonment for a period of 4 years each and a payment of a fine of 10 crore rupees each. They would have to suffer imprisonment for another year in case of a default.
AIADMK General Secretary VK Sasikala's hopes of becoming the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister dashed by the Supreme Court. The Apex Court on Tuesday found her guilty in the disproportionate assets case. It also upheld a 4-year jail term and a 10 crore rupees fine handed down by a lower court and banned her from seeking elected office for 10 years.
Then we and VK Sasikala, we and Sudhakaran and Ilavarasi, who were guilty of the disproportionate assets, and the complaint was made by Subramanian Swamy, and judiciary had a very tough time with these master criminals, and it had taken 19 years to come to this day when the corruption in this country will be rooted out by the order of the Supreme Court.
BJP leader Subramanian Swamy first filed the disproportionate assets case against the late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha and her confidant Sasikala in 1996. The verdict, nearly 20 years later, triggered contrasting reactions from political parties.
इसमें सिर्फ रिव्यू के लिए मांग सकते हैं, वो तो इसी जज के पास जाएंगे. इस जजमेंट के बाद बेफजूल है, और यदि इस जज के सामने दोबारा नहीं जाओगे तो फिर क्यूरेटिव 5 जज के सामने भी नहीं जा सकते हो. वो सब एक औपचारिकता है. मुझे नहीं लगता कि 4 साल से की सजा से बच सकते हैं.
Already now, you know very well, case is there. We are going to appeal for that. There is appeal, definitely review petition will be there. We are going for appeal.
The centre has no role to play. Governor will take a decision based on the situation there, and we don't want, BJP has no interest to interfere, and we have no stakes also.
गवर्नर जिनकी भूमिका संदेह के घेरे में रही है, उनको फौरन विधानसभा का सत्र बुलाना चाहिए और AIADMK के सब पक्षों को अपना बहुमत साबित करने की अनुमति देनी चाहिए.
Sasikala was ordered to turn herself into a court in Bengaluru that convicted both her and Jayalalitha in 2014. Both were jointly accused of owning over 60 crore worth assets, several bungalows, luxury cars, tea estates, 8 tons of silver, nearly 30 kilos of gold and thousands of saris which could not be accounted for through their salaries. Ravindra Shivran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Supreme Court conviction delivered a devastating blow to VK Sasikala's chances of becoming the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. And shortly after that court verdict that found the 61-year-old and 2 others guilty in the 21-year-old corruption case and asked Sasikala to surrender, the AIADMK elected E. Palaniswamy as the legislature party leader. It also expelled caretaker Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam and 19 others for anti-party activities.
Soon after the Supreme Court verdict, the AIADMK sent out a tweet lauding Sasikala's friendship with the late Jayalalitha. The party said, and I quote, Whenever there had been burden for Amma, she had taken it on her. She is doing the same now also. Traitors have insulted Amma's soul. Amma will win, unquote. AIADMK General Secretary Shashikala also expelled Paneerselvam and 19 other party leaders from the primary membership. O Paneerselvam, on the other hand, called upon the party legislators to bury the hatchet and unite for the welfare of the people. Shashikala will have to serve rest of her jail sentence of 3 years and 6 months, as she has already served almost 6 months in jail. The law says that conviction where the sentence is more than 2 years disqualifies a person from holding an elected office for 6 years.
Veda Nilayam, the residence of late Chief Minister J. Lalita, where Sasikala continued to reside, witnessed several dejected faces today. The Supreme Court might have nixed her aspirations of becoming the Chief Minister of the state, but she propped up a new AIADMK chief. Many say that Sasikala may reassert herself after 4 years, which is not a very big gap in politics, and against a claim to Jayalalitha's legacy. Reporting from Chennai, with camera person Sudhanshu, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
All right, in fact, our correspondents have been tracking developments not just in Tamil Nadu, but also in the capital today with the verdict coming in. We've got Ravindra Shiran joining us from Delhi and also Kriti Mishra joining us on the phone line from Chennai. If I could come to you first, Ravindra Shiran, because that verdict is, of course, very crucial, something that's developed through the day. And we do understand that at the moment, of course, the Sasikala camp is going to ask for a review, but that's about the only option that it has legally.
Yeah, that's right, Tracy. Review petition can be filed when the Supreme Court deliver a judgment, and a review petition will be taken over by the same bench which has delivered the judgment today. After the review petition will be disposed of, Shashikala and her two aides are still a chance to go through a curative petition, which will be again heard by the same two judges, and 3 more senior most judges of the court will be the part of the constitutional bench which will hear the curative petition. But the important thing is this case which was decided by the Karnataka High Court, and today the Supreme Court has overruled the Karnataka High Court and found that the decision which was given by the Karnataka High Court was illegal, and the initial decision which was given by the trial court was upheld by the Supreme Court, which says that Shashikala is a co-accused in this case, yes, along with Sudhakaran and one another accused, and she was found guilty by the trial court at that more than 1 decade back. But now today, when the Supreme Court has disposed of Shashikala's hopes to become the Chief Minister, has been dashed down today after this Supreme Court's judgment. After one more thing I would like to add here is that she is now not in this position to contest any election for the next decade. 4 years she has to go through an imprisonment, and the next 6 years she will also not be in this position to contest any election. This means that Shashikala is technically out of the political fray. Yes. At least she would not be able to contest any election for next 10 years. And which kind of political developments which are going to take place after this is very important and very crucial for Tamil Nadu also. And she has yet to receive any orders from the Supreme Court, and that's why this is the reason she has not surrendered as yet.
Absolutely. And in this scenario, absolutely. And in this scenario, the proxy person, the proxy or a chief minister that perhaps would be in place of Sasikala, who she would, of course, give the responsibility to, it becomes very important, Kriti. We do understand E. Palanisamy has finished his meeting with the governor there. Can you give us an update on what took place?
So that's right, Tracy. Sasikala's conviction has not ended the past struggle in Tamil Nadu. In fact, hours after the apex court ruling, Sasikala expelled acting Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam and also 19 others. But her hand-picked loyalist, Edapati K. Palanisamy, has now taken claim to power in his meeting with the governor. That meeting has ended, and the reports that we are getting right now is that Palanisamy has claimed backing of 135 MLAs. Not only that, Tracy, we are also getting to hear that O. Paneerselvam might also visit Governor Rao today. For political developments, very fast-paced political developments taking place here in Tamil Nadu. So we have to wait till the evening what happens. Now, of course, the ball has been lodged in Governor's Court, and his verdict shall be final. He might just go for the composite floor test, or he might invite any of the warring factions to fill the majority on the floor of the House.
Absolutely. All right. And meanwhile, of course, the reactions that we're getting from various political parties have been quite measured, have been quite calm. not trying to, take advantage of the situation in any way, especially if we talk about the DMK?
Well, that's right, Tracy, because in which way the wind would blow, it is not very clear right now, because, of course, Palaniswamy is claiming that he has the backing of 135 MLAs. And also today, AIADMK tried to evoke the legacy of their beloved Amma J. Lalita. Remember, she is the rallying point for the party and also for larger section of Tamil Nadu voters. So they're trying to emote that, and they're just trying to tell this to people that they have to work for Amma and they have to be together for Amma. So that's the kind of message that they're trying to give. And in fact, O. Paneerselvam also addressing his party members today was extremely measured. So he said that people have to bury the hatchets and live for Amma's dream. So even the political parties, the opposition parties are very measured. They're eyeing each and every political development very closely and then holding their cards very close to their chest and not coming out with a strategy in the public.
All right, we leave it there for now. Kriti Mishra, thanks so much for joining us. Ravinder Shiran as well joining us from the capital. Thank you for those updates. We'll keep coming back to you, of course, for more on this story, which is, of course, developing by the minute there in Tamil Nadu. And now let's take you through the campaigning that's, of course, on for the 67 constituencies of Uttar Pradesh for the second phase of elections that ended, of course. Let's get you an update on the election-bound states. The stage is now all set for the polls that are to take place tomorrow, and we are talking, of course, of the second phase of the UP elections. The high-voltage campaigning saw the top brass of the main parties in fray, addressing a number of rallies, road shows and public meetings. Uttar Pradesh is witnessing a tough contest between the Samajwadi Party and Congress alliance, the BSP, the BJP and the RLD. 67 constituencies in the state are spread across 11 districts: Saharanpur, Bijnor, Moradabad, Sambhal, Bareilly, Amroha, Pilibhit and Badaयूं. In the 2012 assembly elections, out of the 67 seats, the ruling Samajwadi Party had won 34, followed by the BSP with 18, the BJP won 10, and the Congress 3, and others 2. Meanwhile, unprecedented security arrangements have been made for the second phase of the elections to be held tomorrow. The polling would be held from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., where a total of 2.28 crore voters, including over 1.23 crore males and 1.04 crore women, are likely to cast their votes amid high security cover by central forces. Over 2 lakh security personnel have been deployed in the second phase of the polls, including over 800 companies of central forces. Central forces were holding flag marches in sensitive areas to instill confidence among the voters.
चुनाव की सारी तैयारियां हमारी पूरी हो गई हैं। बाहर से हमको केंद्रीय अर्धसैनिक बल 63 कंपनी मिली हुई है विधानसभा चुनाव कराने के लिए। इसके अलावा करीब 7,500 हमारे अन्य पुलिस बल अन्य जनपदों से प्राप्त हुए हैं। प्रत्येक विधानसभा में हम लोगों ने जो सेक्टर मोबाइल और जोनल मोबाइल बनी हुई है, उसके अलावा कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मोबाइल बनाया है जो हर 10 मिनट पर किसी न किसी सेंटर पर मौजूद होंगे और वो लगातार भ्रमण करते रहेंगे और अगर किसी तरह की कोई दिक्कत है उसको हम लोग उस मोबाइल के माध्यम से देखेंगे।
All right, polling will also be held in Uttarakhand in a single phase tomorrow. The fight in Uttarakhand could be crucial this time, as there are about a dozen rebel candidates in the fray as independents. This could upset the calculations of Congress and the BJP, which have been traditionally the two main contenders for power in the hill state. 12 former Congress MLAs are also contesting this time as BJP candidates. Over 75 lakh voters will decide the fate of 628 candidates in 69 assembly seats. Nearly 20,000 security personnel have been deployed to ensure peaceful polling. Meanwhile, election for the Karnaprayag seat has been postponed following the death of a BSP candidate. It will now be held on the 9th of March. And our correspondent Navikram Singh took stock of the overall poll preparations and security arrangements in Udham Singh Nagar district of Uttarakhand. The state is going to polls, remember, tomorrow.
Uttarakhand will go to polls tomorrow to elect new assembly. High voltage campaigning for 69 seats closed yesterday evening. Now final touch are being done by polling officers. Let's try to talk some polling officers.
इस प्रकार चुनाव आयोग ने बहुत अच्छी तैयारियां की हैं और खासकर कर्मचारियों का विशेष ध्यान रखा है। ड्यूटी लगाते समय भी उनके उम्र का ख्याल रखा गया है।
लोगों को ट्रेनिंग किस तरीके की?
ट्रेनिंग बहुत अच्छी थी। 3-3 बार ट्रेनिंग हमको दी गई है और हर आदमी के लिए ये विशेष छूट रखी गई है। ईवीएम की ट्रेनिंग बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से बताई गई है, प्रैक्टिकल करा के एक एक आदमी से अलग अलग तरीके से दिखवा करके, और ये कहा गया कि अगर इसमें फिर भी कोई वो रह जाए तो नंबर्स दे दिए गए और उन नंबरों से संपर्क स्थापित किया। कहीं प्रपत्र भरने हैं, उन प्रपत्रों को भी हम बहुत सावधानी पूर्वक से भरे, अगर कहीं पर कोई दिक्कत है तो नंबर्स दिए गए हैं।
You can see preparation have been made for February 15 election with nearly 20,000 security personnel deployed to conduct fair polling and peaceful polling. With camera person Santosh Yadav, Navikram Singh, Rajya Sabha TV, Udham Singh Nagar.
Meanwhile, canvassing for the third phase of the Uttar Pradesh elections, various political parties addressed multiple rallies in the state. Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav addressed an election rally in Farokhabad district, while BSP Supremo Mayawati addressed two gatherings in Kanpur and Lucknow to garner support for her party.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav on Tuesday slammed Prime Minister Narendra Modi for failing to fulfill the party's promise of Achhe Din. Addressing a rally in Farokhabad, Akhilesh also targeted the centre, saying that Mann Ki Baat itself was not enough and that the centre should work and deliver results. The Samajwadi Party president promised that youth in the state will get government jobs without trouble if the party was voted to power again.
खूब सुनी हमने रेडियो पर मन की बात, टीवी पे मन की बात, लेकिन अभी भी जनता नहीं जान पाई उनकी मन की बात। और हम तो कहते हैं सुनाते रहे मन की बात, काम की बात कब करोगे? अगर कोई काम किया हो तो बता दो।
While Akhilesh held rallies at Chabramu, Kannauj and Hardoi, BSP Chief Mayawati addressed rallies in Kanpur and Lucknow. Clarifying that her party will not ally with BJP to form the government in UP, she slammed the BJP supporters for allegedly spreading such rumors.
यदि हमारे लोगों की लापरवाही की वजह से, गुमराह होने की वजह से हमारे लोग थोड़ा चूक कर गए और हम किनारे पर आकर रह गए और हमको एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी नहीं मिली, तो भी बीएसपी विपक्ष में तो बैठना पसंद करेगी, लेकिन बीजेपी की मदद से सरकार बनाना कतई भी पसंद नहीं करेगी.
Mayawati also took on the Samajwadi Party, claiming that the law and order had completely collapsed in Uttar Pradesh. She said the Dadri case and Mathura incidents were the worst examples. Mayawati also asked the people to help the BSP gain an absolute majority in these elections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, a delegation of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders today met the Chief Election Commissioner and sought an inquiry over the alleged breach of security of EVMs at strong rooms in Punjab, where polling was held on the 4th of February. The delegation, led by Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, submitted a memorandum alleging multiple instances of breach in EVM safety in the state. Alleging that EVMs were moved out of a strong room in Patiala, Sisodia termed it as an absolute violation of EC norms. AAP leader Raghav Chadha also alleged that in some districts, EVMs are kept in schools where there was regular movement of teachers. On Monday, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal accused officials in Punjab of trying to move EVMs from a strong room in Punjab. However, officials denied the charge. More national news now, and 3 soldiers and a militant were today killed in an encounter in Hajin area of Bandipora district of Kashmir. 6 other security personnel and a civilian also suffered injuries in the gun battle that began early this morning. Following information about the presence of militants, security forces cordoned off the Pare Mohalla in Hajin area. The gun battle broke out as the security forces were closing in on the position of the militants. One militant, whose identity has not been ascertained yet, was also killed in the operation. Moving on now, wholesale inflation rose to a 30-month high of 5.25% in January amid climbing global crude oil prices, even though food prices moderated. Wholesale price index-based inflation had stood at 3.39% in December last year, while in January 2016, it was minus 1.07%. Inflation in diesel and petrol shot up during the month. However, food inflation basket witnessed a contraction for the second month in a row. The last comparable high level of WPI was witnessed in July 2014 at 5.41%. Terming triple talaq as a serious human rights issue, the Supreme Court today said that it will not hear the issue of the Uniform Civil Code along with it. The Apex Court further stated that it will begin hearing on the matter from the 11th of May. The court was hearing a bunch of petitions on the constitutional legitimacy of triple talaq and polygamy in the Muslim community. The Apex Court refused to deal with the question whether divorce under Muslim law needs to be supervised by courts as it falls under the legislative domain. The bench is headed by Chief Justice J.S. Khehar. Several women have moved the Supreme Court seeking the quashing of the triple talaq practice. The centre has also told the top court that it is against gender injustice and for equality between men and women under the Constitution. With that, let's take you through more updates from across the country nationwide. In a setback to the AAP government, the Delhi High Court stayed a notification by the Director of Education mandating private schools to follow neighbourhood criteria in nursery admissions. Putting a stay on the guidelines for nursery admissions for the 2017-18 academic session, Justice Manmohan termed it as unreasonable. The court further added that forcing 298 schools to adhere to the 7 January notification was arbitrary and discriminatory. The Supreme Court today clarified that people are not obliged to stand up when the national anthem is being played as and in part of a film or a documentary. The verdict also mentions that people need not sing the national anthem that is played prior to the screening of a film. This comes months after the SC had ordered that the national anthem must be played in all cinema halls across the country. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar today announced the creation of the Defence Innovation Fund to support startups looking to contribute to the sector. Parrikar was addressing a gathering of defence representatives from over 30 countries at the inauguration of the 5-day Aero India 2017 in Bengaluru. He added that the defence public sector undertaking and ordnance factories had been given strict targets to increase their outsourcing and vendor development in the country. With a quick break here, up next we're getting you international news.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates a message of wisdom.
Welcome back. International news now. And U.S. President Donald Trump's National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigned amid allegations that he discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia with its envoy before Trump's inauguration. Flynn is said to have misled officials about his call with Russia's ambassador before his own appointment. Meanwhile, Donald Trump held talks with the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday.
U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigned on late Monday night over allegations of his contacts with Russian officials before Donald Trump took office. Flynn's resignation followed reports that the Department of Justice warned the Trump administration weeks ago that such communications could leave him in a compromised position. Flynn is said to have misled officials about his call with Russia's ambassador before his own appointment. Retired General Keith Kellogg, who has been the Chief of Staff at the National Security Council, has been named as Acting National Security Advisor. Russia, however, refused to comment on the controversy, saying it was an internal matter of the U.S. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump met Canadian Prime Minister in Washington on Monday as both leaders pledged to improve ties and work together in the field of trade and common economic goals.
So our relationship with Canada is outstanding, and we're going to work together to make it even better. And as far as the southern border is concerned, we're going to get that worked out. We're going to make it fair, but we are going to make it so that everybody is happy.
Canadians are rightly aware of the fact that much of our economy depends on good working relationships with the United States, good integration with the American economy, and the fact is millions of good jobs on both sides of the border depend on the smooth and easy flow of goods and services and people back and forth across our border.
The two leaders, however, had a difference of opinion on Trump's travel ban on nationals of 7 Islamic majority nations.
I'm just doing what I said I would do when we won by a very, very large electoral college vote. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew this is what people were wanting, and that wasn't the only reason. That wasn't my only thing that we did so well on, but that was something that was very important.
Continue to pursue our policies of openness towards immigration and refugees without compromising security. And part of the reason we've been successful in doing that over the past year, welcoming close to 40,000 Syrian refugees, is because we have been coordinating with our allies, the United States and around the world, to demonstrate that security comes very seriously to us, and that's something that
Trudeau is the third foreign leader to visit the US president since he took office on January 28th. Trump had met Britain's Theresa May and Japan's Shinzo Abe earlier this month. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more international news updates in Global Buzz. Residents of Lahore were shocked on Monday night after an explosion near the Punjab Assembly which killed at least 13 people and wounded 83. The government have declared a day of mourning which was observed across the province to express solidarity with the victims. Pakistan officials attended the funeral which was held for police officers killed in the blast. The death toll from a tour bus crash in Taipei in Taiwan rose to 33 on Tuesday. The bus was carrying 44 people, including the driver. The tour bus overturned on a highway near Taipei in Taiwan on late Monday night. Local media reports said that the vehicle veered off the roadway as it headed towards a curve, while some suspect that the bus flipped due to speeding. A Malaysian aid ship arrived in Bangladesh on Tuesday carrying aid for lakhs of Rohingya Muslims who have fled from Myanmar. A Bangladeshi government official said that the ship docked at the Chittagong port and arrangements are being made to unload its cargo. Nearly 70,000 Rohingyas have fled from Buddhist majority Myanmar's Rakhine state to Bangladesh to escape a crackdown launched after 9 policemen were killed in attacks on border posts in October. That, of course, Myanmar blamed on Rohingya militants. That's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks for joining us.